Alright, let's go ahead and mute the Twitch page, send out the tweets, make sure that everything's signed in. Oh, this is interesting. There it is. And send out the Discord. Alright, should be good. So, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is January 30th, and this is the January 30th TextQuest Devstream. So, today we are going to be finishing up our implementation for ASCII art minigames in the loading screens, and that is going to entail tying the actual ASCII art stuff to the loading screen, as well as getting messages and the loading progress bar handled and taken care of. So, let's go ahead. Got to do some quick checks. Handled and taken care. Okay. Let's go ahead. Open this up. Oh, look at that. We have some wonderful, wonderful line ending things that need to be taken care of. And to give you a sense of where we are currently, let's go ahead and play. So as of right now, we have the Plains to Woods minigame basically mechanically finished. So you know, the hero can move around. We have sound effects. We have visuals playing. We have basic gameplay. So of course we gotta wait for it to compile. So the next step is going to be getting some text to show up here at the top, because that is where I want every loading screen to have some sort of little bit of flavor text that gets shown. And I need to figure out exactly how I want that to work, but for now I think it's going to be just randomly pulling from a list, or actually probably pulling in sequence from a list. So of course you can see that we get hit, we have sound effects, ta-da, and we have scrolling trees and scrolling obstacles and all of that. So actually I guess the first thing we're going to do is set up the right side of this, because we don't have that set up to scroll trees yet. So let's go ahead, come over here, and we're going to set up, actually not obstacles, we're going to set up tree area. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. So we're going to duplicate, call this right, single out scaling, single out, then 0 out. All right. So we're going to go from, that'd be 0.65 to 1, should be pretty much the same. Then we're going to reverse these. So that would be negative 0.1 and 0.8 for that, with, so it's going to be 1.3, oh wow, not 13, 1.3, and 0.4, I believe. Let's go ahead and make sure that that looks right. That looks about right. We'll go ahead and rename these to right start and right end. Oops. Right end. All right. Let's go ahead and minimize that. We do need to assign that, so let's go ahead and go up to here. All right. So we have the right tree area, right there, right start, and right end. All right. So once we have that, let's go ahead and go to this. Oh, right. And we also need, I almost forgot, we need the loading complete animation, which is just a quick animation that plays whenever the loading is done. And in this particular minigame's case, it's going to be the hero moving up to the horizon and then shrinking basically out of sight. Okay, so let's see. So we have trees, and for this, we're pretty much going to. So the trees are going to be perfect mirrors of each other, so they're always going to be pretty much in the same position vertically, and mirrored images of each other on the left and right horizontally. So let's see here. We're going to want left tree area, random path, random value. Right, so we need to store this random value. So we're going to say float normalized position is equal to this. Paste that in there. All right. We are going to pass in normalized position here. Path link, tree start, tree end width. All that. mic's probably going to cut out. Hey Garrett, welcome back. How goes questing? Pretty good. I'm recovered from the Global Game Jam this past weekend, so I'm getting back into the swing of things. Sipping on hot cocoa, because I didn't finish it before my Devstream. How have you been? Alright, so we have our tree coming in. We're going to need to basically make 2 trees here. So we are going to say, we'll go ahead and rename this to tree 1. Alright, and go ahead and copy this, make another one, call this tree 2. This is going to go to our right tree area. Alright, then we're pretty much going to be doing the exact same thing here, except the only difference is we're going to say 1 minus normalized position here. Let's see, path length, tree start width, and width start offset, tree end offset, and I think we want to say negative and negative there. And finally, make sure that that's tree 2, obviously. Go ahead and come down here, say tree 2 on cleanup. We'll go ahead, add that, say tree 2. Alright, so now we should be spawning in 2 trees whenever we play. 1 on each side and perfect mirrors of each other. Just been okay? OBS was giving me problems, but I think I've beaten it into submission. Okay, bad audio popping when GPU was high. That's interesting. Do you mean like when you had a lot of free GPU, or when your GPU was being pegged, basically? Alright, so let's go ahead and give this a shot. So we should see mirrored trees showing up. If not, we've done something horribly, horribly wrong. Which is entirely possible. Actually, it kind of looks like that might be expected here. Eh. That looks about right. The frame rate, though. Okay, so it looks like we're getting good mirroring going on there. I'm actually kind of curious. What's my... Okay, good. Really, though, I'm hitting like 90 frames? Is it really that intense? Doesn't seem like it would be that bad. It's also kind of hard to tell just because, obviously, this fake scrolling is kind of making things look a little choppy. But then again, that's the point of this aesthetic. Yeah, no, this is probably fine. I mean, I'm getting 6 set pass calls, which makes sense, right? Because I'm only using sprites. Let's see. When GPU was being used, like playing a game. Okay, so when it was, yeah, when it had a lot of pressure on it. Did a BIOS update and installed all your drivers. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't run into that problem as far as I know. But maybe it's been happening and I just didn't hear it. Alright. So we have that. I'm actually kind of curious, why are you... Oh, that's why. So there should be 0.4 and 1.3. There we go. Give that a height of 0. Let's go ahead and test that again. Make sure that that was correct. I don't want to be confused with my, because I had inverted values there. Are you going to be streaming your development, or development on your game, or are you going to be streaming less formal, more just plain game stuff? Okay, so all that seems to work. Cool. And if I had to guess, I'm thinking, see if we can get a good pause here. So I basically have this area to put text in. It's not ideal. So I have a huge vertical chunk here in the center, but spreading that out, I really only have a fairly thin horizontal line. Because I'm going to need to have loading at the top, of course, to let people know that it's loading, and all that. Okay. So let's go ahead and say pause. Well, stop playing, I guess. Let's think about where we want this to go. I guess first up, I should probably go ahead and say, stretch this, go up to 0.6. All right, move this, put this down here. We're going to call this player area. We're going to rename this to player movement area. Okay, and then we're going to need a similar thing up at the top here. So we're going to go ahead and just anchor that to the bottom, pivot at the bottom, position of 0. Oh, I anchored the wrong way, sorry. That needs to be anchored to the top. There we go. And we'll give it a height of 0. Doesn't need a height. Okay then. I guess we can give it a set width, or 0.35. You know what, fine. We'll do 0.4. 0.45. Yeah, it looks better. Which means that this is 0.55. Yep. Cool. Not sure. Either let's dev. Either dev or let's play. Maybe even let's play as I play games in research design. Yeah, it's something that I've tried to do in the past. I found it's really hard to do live stream breakdown of things because I can talk about it, but it's hard to get into the finer points of things. This is going to be our player end area. All right, let's go ahead and leave that as is. And now we need to hook up our labels. Label. So we're going to go ahead and say we probably want that to be. Oh, geez, this is all kinds of weird, isn't it? That sucks. Okay. I'm going to pull in my current loading screen. Let's see, view loading. Let's go ahead and pull those in. We're going to just turn that on. So we have the loading bar up at the very top there. And that's pretty much all I want from that, so I'm going to go ahead and steal that. Then we're going to go ahead and turn you off. So we have this loading bar. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the label here because we don't really, actually I'm going to repurpose that label because we don't really need it there, but we do need the progress bar. So we're going to go ahead and say 0 from that. How far off from the left for you? You were 5. That is no possible way that's correct. So it's going to be 10 from the left, 10 from the top. This is interesting. You have an offset, except you don't. Why does the progress bar look like it has some space up there at the top? Fill area. That's super awkward. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this. Oof, excuse me. Let's see. Move that up. Let's go down the path here. Is it really just that? That's super. No, that can't be right. That gets parented to this. So why does it have like extra padding from the top? It looks like. Huh. That's so weird. I would expect this to be from the top. Hold on. Let's see. Where do my anchors start going crazy here? Looks like here. Ah, there it is. I hate it when it does that. Ah! Stupid 0.75 thing. Okay. So we want you to, I'm pretty sure, be 0 and 1. Same thing for you. You're going to be 0 and 1. Alright. So now that allows us to do this. We're going to just change our height down here to be 50. Yes, that looks about right. Okay, and then we are going to go ahead and say, actually, no, 50 is even too much. 40, that looks better. Position Y of -5 will be -10. Okay, so very minor change, but I didn't like having that extra space there at the top. It was just wasted space. All right. So next, we're gonna want to position this. It probably needs to be at the bottom because it has to be above everything. Go ahead and create a empty parent for it. Let's have this stretch. So this is going to have its minimum be 0.6. That's the horizon, and I guess an offset from the top of 100. Oh, not even that. 75. Let's go ahead and get this label in here. We'll have it be centered, which it is. We are going to have it stretch all the way. And, oof. Go ahead and say 0.7. Can I do 0.7, 0.9? Not quite. Not quite what I wanted. I guess we can go up to 0.8. There we go. That gives us a little bit more vertical space. And I guess that's probably a good font size. So let's go ahead and say loading text. Or no, change it. Well, we'll say loading flavor text. Loading flavor text. Okay. So that's basically going to be a label that shows little tidbits about lore and whatnot. And now we're going to need a way to basically store all of that information. So there are a couple of ways that we can do that. First and foremost, I suppose means, that didn't work. There we go. Let's go ahead and go to Drive. I'm going to make a spreadsheet with all this stuff in it. Let's see, we have design, create, we already got loading screens, and yeah, these are the old stuff, or the old bits of text, so I'm going to go ahead and say archive, put this stuff in here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and create a new Google Sheet, and we're going to call this, we're going to say loading screen, well, I can't do that, loading screen flavor text. So here's where we're going to have fun. I don't really have anything that I need in here besides just the text, do I? I guess that makes sense. Let's go ahead and delete B through Z. Let's go ahead and resize this one to, I don't know, 400. And let's go ahead and delete all of the excess vertical ones that I don't need. Okay, so I guess this is just going to say like message. And I suppose we'll want some naming. So let's rename this to castle to sewer. Go ahead and duplicate that, rename that, sewer to castle, let's rename that, oh, not rename that, duplicate that. We're going to need sewer to plains, duplicate that, and from there we'll just go ahead and stop with our plains to woods. Okay. So these messages will, I don't know if I want to say randomly show up. They probably need to have some sort of method. So either every time you, every couple of hurdles that you clear in this minigame, I guess that would make sense, right? Basically, I don't want it to just randomly flash on screen regardless of what you do. But then again, I guess that kind of makes sense. So okay, we'll do that for now. But the actual, I guess, content, because we need to populate this. Let's see. We're going to say... let's see. There is an air of mystery as you enter the woods. Dark Darkness surrounds you. I wonder if I should make these really, like, short tidbits. I guess I would have to, wouldn't I? Because, again, part of the inspiration for this loading screen style comes from Amnesia. I guess we'll also say loading screens. Let's go ahead and say loading screen. Go to the images. So they have these little images that have text underneath them, and the text is kind of like describing some of the backstory to Amnesia. And I'm not really opposed to something like that. I kind of like that idea. But I don't really want to do something quite like this either, where it's like super unrelated to you as a player. Because all the stuff in Amnesia was stories from well before the game started. We don't want to do that. And so I would prefer to have it be something representative of something immediate, or something that is kind of like a Snapple fact, I guess, for lack of a better word there, or term there. So, for example, in the current loading screens for the sewer, if you unscramble some of the words, it'll tell you, like, the sewer's architect, or the architect of the castle also designed the sewer, and the flow of magic is what powers the lights and all of that. And I would like to do stuff like that too, but I'm not entirely sure what content to put here. But I guess for now we'll just use placeholder stuff. So I guess I don't really want it to be like immediate descriptions of that. It should say something like, let's see, these woods are well known for their well, I was gonna say for their tendency. Wow. Ugh. For their tendency to. That's 3 T words in a row. I don't like that. To mislead adventurers. It's also terrible spelling on my part, isn't it? Let's see, to trick. And let's go ahead and just make this all wrappable. Let's get like 3 descriptions just so that we have something to cycle through. Into taking the wrong path. Let's see. It is said that there was a battle between 2 gods in these woods long ago. And what else can we do? Oh, I guess actually, so these messages will be shown in sequence, regardless of how long it actually takes. So what I mean by that is, so the loading screens now will be automatic. So once loading is done, they're automatically going to fade out. But if you continue to go back and forth between levels, you will be able to see these loading screen messages, and they will always be played in sequence. So it won't always start with "these woods are well known for their tendency to trick adventurers into taking the wrong path." The first time you play through, this will be the first message, then the second message, third, and so on. And basically, let's say that you only see this first message and then it's done loading. If you go back from the plains to the woods again, then it will show this message. Then it will show this message, so on and so on. So let's see. Scars from the, let's see, the ancient battle here can still be seen. Let's see. If one. I guess there shouldn't be a comma there. If one has the tenacity to look for them. Alright, that's good enough. Now, we're going to need some kind of scriptable object to store these things, and we're probably going to have it be per minigame, so let's see here. Core, loading screen minigame. Let's go ahead and create. Actually, I think right now I don't. Do I already have something for the loading screen? Good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create C# script, loading screen, flavor text. Go ahead and let that compile. Let's open that up. And there we go. So there's going to be a scriptable object. It's going to be in text quest. Dow. Boo. Let's see. What do we want? We're going to need to say create asset menu, file name. I'm going to say menu name is equal to. Alright, so file name is going to be, I guess, we'll just say loading screen flavor text. Menu name is going to be SOS/text quest / loading screen flavor text. Alright. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome back. How you doing tonight? Alright. So this is going to be our scriptable object. It's going to have a, let's see, serialized private text asset. I guess we'll make this a CSV, might as well. I'll say private string array. These will be flavor text to new string 0. Okay, let's go ahead and serialize that field, and that's pretty much it. Nice and simple. Okay, so we're going to want to have a private void refresh. Do that. Then we're going to say private void clear. So these are going to be two context menu commands. So context menu. We're going to say refresh. All right, which refresh we'll call clear first. And of course, clear is also going to be a context menu, so we're going to say context menu clear. Doing all right? That's good. How about me? I'm doing all right. We'll see how today's Devstream goes. Pretty sure that we'll be able to get through all of the loading stuff that I want. I want to tie everything together. Aside from that, I'm so-so. And all right, let's go up here. For clear, we're just going to say flavor text is equal to a new string array with no elements whatsoever. All right. Otherwise, we're going to say, what do I want to do? I need sleepyowl common in here, so we're going to say using sleepyowl.common. We're going to say csv parser.parse csv to dictionary. That's going to take our csv.text. We're going to need to say using not sleepyowl, system.collections, .generic. So this is going to take a dictionary, string, dictionary, string. Let's see. And I guess I want to call this text is equal to that. Interesting. Oh, it's a list of dictionaries. Right. List. Right. Okay. Then we need to... Wait, is that right? Where else am I using this. It's been a while since I've done CSV parsing. That's not what I want. I want to see where I'm using you. And let's see. Parse to dictionary. There we go. For each dictionary, string row and rows. Okay, I think... Oh, right. I remember how this works. So we're going to do a for loop, and I guess I always do for each loops here. Is that right? Really? That seems... I guess I do. Fair enough. So we're going to say for each dictionary, string, we'll call this flavor text. No. Flavors in text. And pet the cat because she's up on the keyboard and wants attention. I do not know about that. That game is pretty heavily tied to VR. Plus the super secret switchboard is not entirely my game. It was made with my company. So I don't know if it's worth it for me to do it. It could, well, I honestly don't think that it could be done without VR. The entire premise around it is kind of the ridiculousness of being able to plug stuff into your face, basically. Or at least that was the premise that got us excited about it anyway. Okay, so on to this, we are going to need a constant up here. So we're going to go ahead and say private const string. This will be key messages is equal to that. And we're just going to say it's messages. All right. And then we're going to say, this is super awkward, but, oh, I guess that means that I'm also going to do this. So we're going to say, geez, really? That's how we're going to handle this thing? That's really dumb. Okay, we're going to change this. I'm going to need a for loop. So I'm going to want to say flavor text is equal to new string, and this is going to be text.count. That's going to be our array, and then we're going to do a for loop. So for int I equals 0, I is less than flavor text dot length I plus plus. Then we're going to say flavor text of I is equal to text of I with the messages value. That should be what we want. Let's go ahead and let that compile. And here is where things are probably going to get a little interesting. So I think what I'm going to want to do is say serialize field private level ID from is going to be equal to level ID.none. Then private level ID 2 is equal to level ID.none. Let's go ahead and serialize that field. And I'm also thinking that I'm going to need to have spawn point information be passed in, because I have situations like the cabin, which has 3 different ways of entering and exiting it. Well, 3 ways to enter, and yeah, 3 ways to enter and exit it. Either the kitchen window, the front door, or the attic window. And each one of those 3 will require a different minigame because they all have different animations that they're doing, basically. And that actually kind of makes me wonder what I'm going to even do for some of those, because I don't actually know. I feel like making a door opening into a minigame is really, really tough. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Alright, so let's go ahead and let that compile. We are going to want to go to data. I guess we'll go ahead and close some of this stuff. Okay, so let's see, we have loading. Let's go ahead and put that into an archive folder for now. Archive. Oops. Put this in here. We're going to say loading folder flavor text. ahead and create SOS, which is there. Text quest. Let's see. Loading screen flavor text. Okay. And we will say plains to woods. That is a crazy long name, so I'm going to change that to loading flavor text instead of loading screen flavor text. Maybe even just loading text. That seems like a much more manageable name. Let's go ahead and change that. All right. So from is going to be where we're coming from. So in this case, we're going to say plains. To is where we are going to, which is going to be woods. But we are going to need a, well, what I want, I'm actually not entirely sure if I want unique dialogue between the two, but I will have different mini games, which is what makes it weird. So I guess that's fine. So we'll have a single text data set for transitions, but we will have unique mini games depending on where you're going to spawn in. That's kind of something that we have to do. All right, so let's go ahead and download this real quick. I'm going to say download as, and we will say comma separated values, show in folder, and we're just going to go ahead and pull that in. We'll say right there, flavor text. Okay, let's go ahead and create folder. We're going to say plains. Wow, that's not how you spell plains. Plains to woods. I guess I could do like that. Drag that in there. Open that up. Sign everything. And let's try this. Okay, so we almost got it. Did I spell messages wrong, or did I spell them differently? Ah, I spelled it message. Okay, that's why. Go ahead and save that. That recompile. I was going to say, because it got the right number of elements. Let that compile, and Shazam. Abracadabra. There we go. Takes way too long. Let's go ahead and clear. Okay, we're good. Let's refresh. Nice. Okay, so all of those are in there. That's all we pretty much need from them. The next thing, though, that I'm going to do is this. So we're going to say public string get flavor text. All right, now this is where things are going to get kind of weird. We're going to say int index is equal to, it's going to say 0, but we're actually going to change that. Then at the end here, we're going to return flavor text of index. That's what we're going to want. Okay, now this is where things are going to get interesting. I am going to want to get a specific value from session. And in particular, that value is going to be, well, I don't know where I want to store it, but I do know what I want to do with it. So give me a second here. I need to go to Unity, text quest. Let's see. I think I need, did I put it somewhere else? No. Save file reader. There we go. That's what I want. Let's go ahead and open this up. So this is a quick and dirty save file reader that I wrote to let me read save files from TextQuest without having to run them through the decryptor in the editor. So let's see, I want to go to game development, Unity, TextQuest, build, TextQuest, saves, let's look at you. Okay, so this is our save file. So we don't want to store these things in levels. I guess we could make a separate chunk for them, couldn't we? Yeah, it's probably fine. Or I guess I could just store it as an int. That would work. Yeah, reading raw save files is super useful. It's very good for debugging. Exactly, debug tools for the win. But since my normal text save files are not really encrypted. I mean, they kind of are in a weird way, but they're not human readable because they're basically blobs. But this lets me actually parse them out. So yeah, I guess I could just store it as ints. That would be fine. So we're going to want to say down here, it's going to be instead of 0 session dot get int, and that's going to pass a string ID, which is going to get really interesting. So we're going to get int, and we're going to say from dot. Oh, this is kind of gross. So we're going to say string.format, actually that with a default value of 0. So we're going to say 0, 1, index, and then we're going to say from 2, and that's pretty much it. So once we get that, we will increment index plus plus, and then we'll basically do the exact same thing that we just did, but in reverse. We're going to set that value, and we're going to say set int. So we give it a string value, and then we give it our int value, which is index at this point. All right. And this is so that we can increment that flavor text regardless of if we get all the way through, or if we have to start the loading screen over again. So let's see here. That's going to probably actually add a ton of complicating factors when we try to test this, but it should be fine. Okay, so next we are going to need, let's see, get rid of the tree part, get rid of the obstacle part. We're going to need loading screen minigame. So this is going to have a serialized field for protected, what did I make it, level flavor text. This will be our flavor text. All right. Then we're going to have. I can't actually have a label set up here because I already know of a few loading screens that are going to have multiple labels. So I can't really do that here. We can store the flavor text. That part's fine. We just have to be mindful of how child or derived classes will handle this stuff. And I guess that's all I can really do. I can't even really have a coroutine or a function to show the text anywhere. Ugh. All right, that's going to have to be entirely handled by each specific implementation. Fair enough. So let's see here. Yep, I can't even do stuff like fade in and out times really, because not all of them will have fade. Well, no, they'll have. Well, nope, can't do it. All right then. So we got to move pretty much everything else up to here. God, this is ridiculously long for an inspector. Like, look at this. This is insanity. I should not have this many freaking things in my inspector, but I don't really have a good way of divvying these up. Optical speed, yeah, all that fun stuff. All right. Flavor text. Let's go ahead and assign that. Oh, right. That was the entirely wrong type of flavor text. We want loading screen flavor text. That was my mistake. Level flavor text was the old stuff. Let's see. So we're going to want all of this stuff. I guess I would put it up here at the top. So we're going to say serialize field, private, text mesh pro UGUI, flavor text label. Okay. Then we are going to have, do I have floats? I kind of do. Let's go ahead and say serialize field, private float, fade in. I want to do like a whole curve thing. I mean, I need duration at the very least, so this will be text duration, which is going to be, I don't know, equal to probably 10 seconds. Let's go ahead and tooltip that. How long flavor text is shown before fading out. Let's go ahead and serialize another field, private float, text fade is equal to, we'll say 1F. Go ahead and tooltip that. How long it takes for text, flavor text to fade in / out. One more, which is going to be serialize field, private float, text gap. That's going to be probably something small like 0.25, honestly. It's going to be tooltip time between flavor text messages. Okay. I think that's going to give us pretty much everything we want. We might also want an initial delay. Might as well do that now, I guess. Serialize field, private, float, text delay, 0f. Actually, we'll say 3f, I think. Go ahead and tooltip that. Time before flavor text starts to, well, let's say is displayed. Displayed for the first time. Okay, from that, we're going to need a couple of things. So down here in the, actually before we do that, I'm going to need to declare a private cooldown for that. So we're going to say private float flavor text cooldown is equal to 0f. Initialize, we'll go ahead and come down here. Maybe, I guess we'll go ahead and do it here. We'll say flavor text cooldown is equal to text delay. Yep, should be good. Let's go ahead and come down to update. My setting is active to be true there. Initialize, start minigame. Okay, that comes from start. Okay, so if not is damaged, we don't really care about that stuff. Wow, this update loop is much larger than I'm used to, but it's better than having a bunch of coroutines, I guess, for all of them, because each coroutine started generates garbage, so this is a better way of doing it. We're going to say if text cooldown is less than or equal to 0f, go ahead and come down here, else, let's go ahead and say flavor text cooldown minus equals time dot delta time. Okay, so we have got some problems, don't we? Because we're going to want to know what state we should be set up for. CRUD. Okay, let me think. I suppose I could do that. Oh, that would be so gross. But it would work. So I could have an enum that controls the state, or, well, not controls, but can be referenced to know the state of the flavor text. So it could be, I guess the states would be hidden, fading in, shown, and then fading out. Those would be the 4 states. And basically what I would do is in that update loop, I would detect what I would need to do for the cooldown based on what that current state is. So, oh boy. Yeah, that gets to be chaotic, doesn't it? Okay. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and make that a separate class for enums. For the enum, because I think I'm going to end up using that state enums in other places. So, let's see. Plains to woods tree. Gotta wait for it to finish compiling. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and drag these scripts into here as well, because I've been meaning to do that for a while and I keep forgetting. While that's going on, let's see here. So our loading screen is going to be, while we're waiting for that to compile, pretty similar to what it is currently. This loading bar you see here isn't going to be part of the minigame. Actually, it's probably going to want to move above it. It's going to be part of the loading screen view itself, and the loading screen view will contain like a subsection of itself for the minigames to be spawned under. Yes, Cat, I see you. So what we would actually end up doing is, let's go ahead and move this. It would kind of end up behaving like this. Oh, crap, it's going to suck now, isn't it? Like this. And the minigame area, this is what's going to really, really suck, is that it's actually going to mess with what we've already done. Because ideally, the loading bar, well, the minigame area would be offset from the top by like 0.9. That's going to lower our horizon, which really sucks. Jeez, I really wish I had thought of that before I went ahead and did this, but we're going to live with that for now. Also, apparently that messed with my background. Go ahead and turn you off. Oh dear, did it really? Like, really? Really? Interesting. Guess didn't like doing Control Z on that. Huh. Well, okay then. Let's go ahead and leave that as is. We'll fix that in a little bit when we actually get to that. This seems so complicated for a loading screen minigame. Well, it mostly seems complicated because it's the first one. Ideally, after once we implement the base systems, it'll actually be much easier and faster for us to create these things. But I'm being very particular, trying to think about what I want to do for all of the other minigames. Which is why I've kind of been saying, like, should I? No. Because I need to try and anticipate and lay a good groundwork for the other mini games. Also, that's not entirely incorrect. Yes, everything I do is needlessly complicated because for some reason I love doing things that way, and I don't know. Maybe I like being unhappy. Anyway, so let's see. Fix that real quick, which of course is going to cause a friggin' recompile. Let that go. We're going to go ahead and try and assign some stuff. So where are you? This is going to be our flavor text area. Okay, any day now, Unity. Any day you feel like letting me finish my work. Let's also, I guess, go ahead and zero these out. It's kind of weird why they were like that, but okay. We're going to call this flavor text label. Flavor text label. Alright. Go ahead and pull that in here. There you are. Let's go ahead and assign our data to, I guess I can probably just do this. Plains to woods. Alright. That pretty much handles all of that. But now we're going to need C# script. So this will be loading screen flavor text state. This is this is going to be an enum that not all of my mini games will use, but some of them will. So I'm going to make it a shared enum instead of being in a specific class, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to be used in a couple of different areas. Enum, make this text quest, and I guess we can get rid of the Unity engine part because we don't really need that. All right, and let's see. So we're going to say hidden by default, followed by fade in is going to be equal to 1. Fade out is equal to 2, and visible is equal to 3. Okay, very, very simple. Go ahead and close that. Loading screen flavor text. We're going to go back here to test. Oh, right, that makes sense. It would have closed my stuff because I moved my script. Okay, so we're going to need a private. Let's see, where are you? Private. Loading screen flavor text state. Current text state is equal to hidden by default, so it's going to be hidden when you first start. Makes sense. All right. Next, we're going to go ahead and say, get rid of that to do because we're doing that already. Come down here. We're going to say flavor text label dot text is equal to nothing. Flavor text dot label. Oops. Text label dot text, or not text, dot alpha is equal to 0f, and I guess I just called it wow, I can't even remember what I called it. Current text state, there we go. Current text state is equal to hidden. Alright. Anyway, speaking of complicated, actually, how's your game coming, Garrett? Any particular breakthroughs you made since we last discussed it? Or have you just been kind of chugging along on it? Okay, so we have current text state being set there. So next we're going to want to handle, oh dear, in update, because of course it is going to be an update. I don't know why I'm trying to do this all in update. There's honestly no reason besides performance. Like, I could very easily just put this in a coroutine, and that would probably make things much easier on me. Hey. Jeez. That would be so nice. I might just actually move this into a coroutine. That makes things so much easier. That also means I don't need to have a state. Sure, it generates a little bit of garbage, but, you know, that's not terrible. Go down here. Rid of you. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and have a private enumerator. We're going to say show flavor text. Okay, so we're going to say while is active. I'm going to do all that. Then we're going to say, I guess actually the start will go up here. And we'll say float t is equal to 0f, while t is less than 1f. guess that doesn't really make sense. We'll say text delay t plus equals time dot delta time yield return null. All right. Let's see, updating it from 2017.1 to 2017.3. CPU is getting hammered. Yeah. Getting disillusioned about the direction it was going. It's going to be a long project. I need to tackle combat finally. Been holding off for months on that system. I have no idea what that feels like. Holding off on a major system because you're worried about it? Nah, I've never gone through that. Yeah, combat's always tricky. Anyway, so this is where we're going to come in here. And while is active, we're going to say, so first off, t is equal to 0f. Then we're going to say, while t is less than 1f, we're going to say t plus equals time dot delta time times fade, text fade, then yield return null. Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to ask you, Scorpio, is how's progress going for you? Have you downloaded Unity? Or are you still holding off on that even? Alright, so while this is going on, we're going to say, let's see, this would be flavor text label dot alpha is equal to t. Very, very simple there. Then at the end here, we'll say flavor text label dot alpha is equal to 1f. And then, of course, before all of that, we're going to need to say flavor text label dot text is equal to flavor text dot get flavor text. Very, very simple. And okay, we're going to set our alpha to be 1. Then at the end there, we're going to say t is equal to 0f while t is less than text duration. Yep. We're going to say t plus equals time dot delta time yield return null. Okay, then at the end there, we're going to say t is equal to 1f while t is greater than or equal to 0. Actually, no, just greater than 0f. Say t minus equals time dot delta time times text fade. Let's see. Yes, I have, but I've had some stuff recently I need to take care of, and I haven't been able to get to it yet. That's understandable. There's an interesting article on Gum Sutra today about showing text in Unity. Ooh. Well. Is this about some of the memory issues that text labels have? I'm actually kind of curious. Oh, wait. This is a typewriter effect. Oh, yeah. I've actually... Oh, wow. Look at that fancy stuff. He's doing a mask. Phew. I guess that's not a mask. That's just moving colors. That's pretty cool. I'll have to read into that a little bit more. Yeah, there's actually... I think TextMesh Pro has an example scene of typewriter effects, and one of the key things that you need to be careful of, which I'm guessing that he mentioned because I think I saw something about it, is you want to avoid the tendency to basically just straight up append, because when you do that, you'll actually get words that start to be written on one line, then realize they're too long, and then they warp to the next line. And that's actually something that you want to avoid because it looks really ugly. In fact, that's always been one of my biggest gripes about games with speech boxes. If they don't go that extra mile, it makes me think that they just didn't really care. It's a very small thing, and you wouldn't think that it would bug me so much, but it's a huge thing for me. I really don't like it when games do that. Okay, so we're going to say yield return null. But I do think I have an idea for a small game. Cool. What's your idea? All right, and during this whole time, we're going to say flavor text label dot alpha is equal to t. And at the end here, we're going to say flavor text label dot alpha is equal to 0f. So for those who are curious why I manually set these alphas at the end of those while loops, Unity's while loops, and I'm assuming this is just a general thing with computing in general, they don't necessarily always end exactly where you want. So in this case, you see that we start at 0, and then I'm going to basically lerp from 0 to 1. That's what this while loop would imply. But floating point comparisons can actually be basically close enough. So you could say, is this floating point equal to this floating point number? And it might say yes, even though one value might be 1f, which is, true 1, and then the other one might be 0.99999999999, basically 1, but not actually 1. And that's not a huge difference, but when you're doing things like alpha values, it can be slightly perceptible to people. So to prevent it from getting kind of wonky and doing like snapping as it fades, I tend to set these things to be their hard expected values at the end of while loops. It's just a little bit of extra steps, or an extra step to make things look nicer. Apparently there's a TextMesh Pro setting for a number of chars to show, and you can animate that. Yep, that is totally a thing. There's a whole mess of things that TextMesh Pro can do behind the scenes. I mean, we sort of dove into it like, what, a year ago? With vertex animations and all of that. It's crazy because you have to basically cache all the text positions, otherwise it'll get super weird later. But it's really cool what you can do with that stuff. Anyway, so while this is going on, we're going to get to the end here. We're going to say flavor text label dot text is equal to nothing. And then at the end, we'll have one more value here, and we're going to say t is equal to 0f. Might as well just set that to be equal to t. And then we are going to go ahead and say while t is less than, I guess, 1f, we'll say t plus equals time dot delta time times text gap. Then yield return null. All right, so that should get our actual flavor text loop going, and we can get rid of this whole chunk of code and update. Let's see here. While this is going on, woof. Okay, we're going to need one extra coroutine, I think, for hiding flavor text. Let's go ahead and say private enumerator hide flavor text. And come down here. Aha! Spent a lot of time working on the typewriter stuff in 1D. It's surprisingly difficult. Yeah, I mean, when you try to do text-specific stuff, it can get pretty crazy pretty quickly. Alright, so we're going to say, this is going to be fun. Float t is equal to flavor text label dot alpha. I'm going to say while t is is greater than 0f. I'm going to say t minus equals time dot delta time. Times text fade. I'm not sure if we want to do that, but that should be fine. Times text fade, yield return null. Go ahead and just say flavor text label dot alpha is equal to t. At the end here, we're going to say t is equal to 0. I guess that's kind of pointless. We're just going to say flavor text label dot alpha is equal to 0f, followed by flavor text label dot text is equal to nothing. All right, pretty simple. What coroutines do we want here? Let's go ahead and so we need to keep track of this. I don't really want to do this, but I guess it would probably be fine for me to do so. I'm just going to say if not is active, break. Ugh. Oh, actually, I guess I could yield break there, couldn't I? It's going to have the same effect either way. We'll go ahead and copy that. I'm basically going to want this in actually a bunch of places. Gross. Pretty much everywhere. I guess every one of these while loops. Let's go ahead and go up here. I'm going to put that in front of everything. Oh crap, that doesn't work. I basically have to do it in the while loops. Oh no, actually not. Let's go ahead and change that. So I want to do it after the while loops because I need to do that as part of the criteria of the while loops. Go ahead and say is active, break, and then of course we're going to say while this and is active. This way I don't get text fading in while I'm supposed to be fading out, basically. And is active, and is active. Alright. Well, I kind of want like a mysterious cave platformer where you get trapped during a cave, or, oh, trapped in during a cave-in and can't remember anything. Make your way through the cave trying to find out why you're there. Okay, sounds interesting. For some reason, it's making me think of, there was a Double Fine game. It wasn't Cave Story. There's a Double Fine game about a bunch of people. I think they were underground. I don't remember if they were in a cave or not, but basically you had interactions with all of those people, and you were trying to escape the cave, I think. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was also a platformer. Kind of reminds me of that. And apparently I have no threats. Thank you, Windows Defender. The dig? Is that what it was? The dig. No, I don't think it's that. No, it's not that. It was like a pseudo 3D game, I think. God, I can't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure that it was a Double Fine game, though. Because I think it was made somewhere around the time that Double Fine Adventure was made. Which, did they ever? No, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, the dig, yeah, I don't think the dig is it. Anyway, so when we come down here for start minigame, I guess we're going to want to go ahead and say start coroutine, show flavor text. Then at the end here, we're going to say start coroutine. Wow, that's not at all correct. Start coroutine, hide flavor text. Okay. Go ahead and let that load. Take a drink. The cave. I think that's right. Is that right? Maybe. Hold on. Cave game. Yes, that is totally it. Was I right? Was it Double Fine? Ah, it was Double Fine. Aha! But I don't actually know the content of the cave. I didn't play it. I just remember screenshots of it, and it being set in a cave and having interactions with a bunch of different characters as the core driving loop behind it. Alright, so with all of this stuff, we should now have a good idea of what we need. Or, well, not a good idea of what we need. We should have a good base for flavor text, so let's go ahead and play. That should do everything that we expect. Okay, so we should have a few seconds of Nothing said that there was a battle between two gods in these woods long ago. Oh, crud. I did that in the wrong order. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Okay. Actually, yeah, I guess that's not too bad. Okay, so also we need to center our text label a little bit more. Oh, and yeah, we have an index out of range exception because I did not write a safety check in there. Okay, so a couple of things. We don't actually want this index to be incremented like that. Instead, we want to say index plus 1 there. We're not going to increment that, and we're just going to return it there. Second, we are going to say if index... Crap! Okay, I lied. So we're going to do index here. We're going to say index plus plus. We're going to say if index... Actually, no, hold on. We're going to say index is equal to flavor text dot length -1 question mark. If that's the case, then we're going to set it to be 0. Otherwise, we're going to set it equal to index plus 1. So that should be what we want now. Except not, because we don't want it to actually increment. We need it to be the same value we get before we set the flavor text. Okay, well, what do I want to do about that? Let's see. So I can't actually increment that. That's kind of annoying. Well, I guess we'll also say greater than or equal to, which I guess means that it can do that, which... Okay. Dang it! This is not that hard. I just can't think straight for some reason. Let's see. So we have index is equal to index length -1. That will mean that we want to wrap it down to 0 again. Then we'll do index plus 1. Otherwise, we'll set that, which I guess means that we would constantly be 1 up, which is not what we want at all. So I guess actually I can just do that. That will be the quick and dirty and super easy way to do it. Just say -1. That should do everything that we want, because that will increment it to 1, or that will increment it to 0 and give us the results we expect. Make sure that's correct. All right. So, all right, I got my Unity account set up. Now where should I begin? Honestly, I would say check out some of Unity's tutorials. They have, where is it? On their website, they have a bunch of tutorials. And I think that's under Learn and Tutorials. Yeah. So if you go to the Learn tab, then Tutorials, I think they have a bunch of tutorials for you to pick from, and a lot of them have video guides to go with them to let you know how to do things exactly. So I guess I would pick one that's interesting to you and try to go at it. I would also recommend picking one that's a good easy one to ease into, and usually they have little markers that say, I guess they don't have one on here. I thought they had. Here it is. Difficult. Say like difficulty beginner. I would recommend checking that out, and sticking to beginner stuff first. And you'll slowly pick up how to get more advanced stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and play this again. We should get the initial loading text that we would expect, and then of course we'll have the crossfading between everything, and then we'll have it loop. These woods are well known for their tendency to trick adventurers into taking the wrong path. I forgot to change layout for the text, didn't I? Got to make it way farther from the edges. Currently the labels go all the way up to the sides. I don't know if I like having the text float in the center. Excuse me, like that. I kind of would prefer that it was left justified. Cars from the ancient battle here can still be seen if one has the tenacity to look for them. And now it should loop. Yay! Alright, cool. So we have that working. I am going to let it go one more, let it go through one more, not full cycle, but one more flavor text, and then I'm going to quit out and read that save file. It said that there was a battle between the woods long ago. Alright, so that should have adjusted that save file. Let's go ahead and open up our save parser. Select file. I really should have this not show hidden things. Let's see, so we want game development, Unity, text quest build, text quest saves. I do not know which one I want. I probably want that. Nope. That is not correct. Oh, actually, I can't do that because I'm not saving the session, so that's kind of pointless, isn't it? Alright, that's fair. Well then, I'm just going to have to assume that it's correct because it seems to be behaving correctly. So that'll be something that we can actually test once we integrate it properly. You making a driving game now? Not quite. It's meant to be a very basic ASCII art type game. I think all of these mini games are going to be something basically that you can play with one or two keys. At least that's going to be the goal anyway. Although some of them I admittedly don't know how I'm going to really make them into a game. But we'll see what we can do when we get to those. Anyway, so flavor text is now working, which means that the only thing I really have to do now is we need to handle the end cutscene. So what happens when when the loading is done, basically. And let's see here. And integrating this into the full game proper. So I'm going to kind of cheat here. I'm going to duplicate all of this. We're going to single you out 0, 0, 0, 0. All right, that's good. We're going to call that minigame reference. And this is just going to be used so that we can try to match up the horizon, because we're going to need to do that. So let's go ahead and turn that off for now. And we're going to change, well, let's go ahead and turn you on, revert that. We're going to turn this on. Wow, apparently the loading bar did not like that at all. What the heck happened there? That's all kinds of crazy. Huh. Okay. Like, all of my text just went to the right for some reason. Hey. Idea, you could make your save file reader pull the file name from the command line, associate that exe with a save file type, then you could directly open from Explorer. Now that you've written File Explorer, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to put too much effort into that. There are too many things on fire. Is that what you're saying here? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to delete loading. Well, should I do that? Because it's probably referencing that, aren't you? Progress bar. Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll go ahead and delete this. Yes, you're fine. I'm going to move the loading bar into here. Okay, all of that's correct. Let's go ahead, load in our progress bar. Wow, it's not even close to being correct. Let's see, progress bar needs to go into the slider. Content label is going to be down here. So we want content label and progress label. What's the difference here? Oh, progress is percentage and content is the thing it's doing. That makes sense. Let's go ahead and let's see, hero icon. Why is that a thing? Let's go ahead and open this stuff up. What am I even using you for? Find all references. Nothing. That's just there. Okay. What about you? Find all references. Same thing. Why are you even here? Let's see, loaded word, start, type, we don't need any of that. Minigames, that will be something that we need, but we will hold off on that for a second. Feature creep. Oh, geez. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried about making my debug tools super crazy amazing because they're only meant to be seen by me. So okay, so all of this stuff is pretty good. We are going to need a new list of minigames, and we're going to need to, of course, have minigame area, which I surprisingly don't have. And where the freak do I parent those things? Oh wait, unless they're actually part of it. That would explain it. But for now, we don't really need that. So I'm going to go ahead and call this. We're going to come up here, close this. Man, this is going to be interesting. So we're going to want to say public list loading screen minigame. We're going to call this, I guess we'll call it minis for now, while I get rid of the references to the old minigames. Find all references. Oof, excuse me, got the hiccups. And, right. So this entire menu, I think, is going to need to have its select, or its minigames code basically just completely redone. Woof. Okay. Okay, so we have fade in coroutine, fade out coroutine. Alright, so I'm gonna get rid of these because the minigame success stuff doesn't even matter anymore. We'll keep clean up minigame, but we're not really going to keep the contents of that. Select minigames, same deal. We're gonna just get rid of the contents, but we'll keep the actual function. Set load amount, that all is important. Submit, open, can accept input, all of that is, of course, very good. Get rid of you, get rid of you. Let's see, come down here. On submit, if current minigame is equal to null, return. Don't care about you. Don't care about you. We are not actually going to be submitting anymore, which means that this is not going to be a text quest view either. This is going to be a game view. Game view. Let's see. I'm not the brightest person ever. Don't be like that. Not with that attitude, you're not. You gotta, stand up straight. And just assume that everyone is blinded by your brilliance. Maybe not go that far, but let's see. Can accept input. What on earth am I even doing with that? False. That's interesting. Yield return. False. But we don't actually do anything with it. We don't seem to reference it. Fade out coroutine. Can accept input is equal to false. What do we do? Let's see. Text. Right. Okay. Never mind. We don't need to do anything with that because that's just to grab our prevent us from basically typing as we move forward. Loaded text. What the? Oh no, that's fair. Yeah. Loaded text type. Don't need you either. Don't need this. Wow, we are just like cruising through everything. Stop all coroutines. Get rid of all of this. Get rid of all of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of on submit because we're not doing anything with it. Listening for submit. Get rid of that. Let's see. Finish load. Get rid of this. Wait for input. Get rid of that. Don't need it. Fade in coroutine. Get rid of that. Rid of both of these things. Wow, just so much. Rid of this. And let's see. Can't accept input as focus select field. Don't even need the whole update function. Okay. Phew! Carved out a fair chunk of code there. Now we're gonna have to repopulate it. So this is gonna be called minigames. All right. Yeah, I mean when you're first starting out programming, it's gonna be a really weird thing. Like everything is kind of weird and you don't know how to do anything, but that's just how it is when you're learning how to program. Okay, so now we get to do all the fun stuff. So we're going to need a content area. So we're going to say public, actually, you know what? Pretty sure that none of these are being referenced outside of the script. Final references. Nice. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and serialize these fields. Okay, we're going to need to have a serialized field, private rect transform. What do I want to call this? Minigame area. So minigame area is going to be the rect transform that all minigames get spawned underneath for them to basically occupy that area. But I need that to be a rect transform that I can control in the loading view itself. That way I can make sure that my loading bar is always visible. Okay, so aside from that, we're going to go ahead and say private loading screen minigame current minigame. It's going to be nothing by default, which is perfectly fine. Then when we select minigame, we're going to want to basically populate that stuff. So we're going to want to say current minigame is equal to pool manager dot request. This is going to be fun. Minigames random dot range. Oh no, that's not at all correct. We're not going to do a random range for that. Okay, things got complicated. Right. So I need some way of telling my loading view what its current minigame is, which is going to be super fun because that's going to involve fading the minigame in, which means that we're actually going to want to do a couple of things. Loading screen minigame is going to have a serialized protected canvas group. We'll call this minigame. And we'll just call it canvas group. Canvas group. That's going to be the thing that lets us control the alpha for the minigame, so we can fade it in instead of just like popping it in. And from loading view, we are going to need, actually, hold on. I guess we're going to make this cover date. So we're going to say using system dot collections Okay, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say protected virtual enumerator. We're going to say fade in coroutine. Protected virtual enumerator fade out coroutine. All right. Let's see. What else are we going to do? I am going to probably want serialized field, protected, float, fade duration is equal to, we'll say 1F. Go ahead and tooltip that. Time for the mini game to fade in / out. Okay. And in our fade in coroutine, which actually, you know what? I think I could. I think we can make that just a basic fade coroutine. And we're going to do this. It's going to take a float start alpha, float end alpha. Very simple. Say float t is equal to 0f, while t is less than 1f, t plus equals time dot delta time times fade duration, yield, return, null. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and just say canvas group dot alpha is equal to t. And at the very end here, we're just going to say canvas group dot alpha is equal to 1f. Very, very simple. Oh, wait, crap. Sorry. I did that wrong. It's going to be mathf.lerp from start alpha to end alpha based on t. Otherwise, what we were just about to do is going to always fade in and never fade out, which means this is going to be end alpha. Okay, pretty simple. Now, that gets us to the interesting place of, do we want to do fade in, or do we want to fade in when we start the minigame or when we initialize it? I think it kind of makes more sense for us to do it when it's starting. So I'm going to go ahead and say start coroutine, fade coroutine, 0f, 1f. Go ahead and grab that in the minigame. Say 0 or 1f, 0f. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go ahead and close some of these things. We are going to want to... Where are you? Close this. Finish load, select minigame. Okay, right. So I need to know what I'm loading into, basically. So set load amount. Let's go to find all references because this should be called from our scene loader. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and go over here. Let's see. Session string session fade in event. Okay. Show load. Start load. Excuse me. All right. Piece of crap. Dang it. Okay. This is not information that I easily have access to. That is not exactly good. So we have the current level, but we don't have the target level. So let's see, current level, let's see, current manager, do all that stuff. Load. Okay. Yeah, this is not ideal. Okay. So I'm going to need to have public getters for my current level and the level it's currently trying to load, as well as the spawn point that it's trying to load. Now, here is where things, yeah, get a little messy. I set the target level when I start to load something, but that's the current level being set to the target level. So, gross, that means I need to break that functionality up. So I basically want to have current level be the level that is loaded, and then target level is the level that is being loaded. Which means that target level can possibly be none, while current level should never be none. Well, actually, that's false. Current level should be none until it gets to the main menu, at which point it would be current level is equal to main menu. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. So I want to say private static level ID target level is equal to level ID dot none. Current spawn point. I guess we'll also go ahead and make a target spawn point. Spawn point ID target spawn point ID dot none. Okay. So from this, I'm actually curious, what do we have outside of this referencing it? Autosave level. Huh. Really? Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just... Okay, I guess I did it for consistency, but why wouldn't I just flag this label? So with this level manager, this save being done here, I could easily just do this. That should do the exact same thing. It's possible, though, that I didn't do that for a reason, so I'm going to keep my eye on that for now. We do, of course, keep track of our position. Yeah, this is where things start getting kind of complicated because I've got to remember exactly what all is referencing these things. Because level loading is always kind of weird in TextQuest. Like this, which really, really should not be used. And it's kind of not anymore. This is just legacy code that I've kept in just in case, but that's not really going to be a thing anymore. In fact, eventually this should be worked out entirely. That's a very accurate way to summarize things, Sky. Very accurate indeed. Well, either way, welcome back. How are you doing tonight? Okay, so current level. So we have TextQuest Scene Loader, which is the thing that's containing it, which is fine. So basically, Session is doing things, which is, oh boy, that makes sense, actually, that it's doing that. Boy. Yep, that makes sense. Those two things definitely need to be set to current, which they should be. So, okay. Also Dusted, welcome back. How are you tonight? Doing fine, Sky? Well, that's good. That's good. Or at least it's not bad. Fine, I think, is above average. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and change this. So current level is not going to be set to target level right away. Instead, these will retain their values. And then they'll be set after the load is done. So we're going to get rid of this. Change that. And we're going to say target level is equal to target level. Then target spawn is equal to target spawn pointin, because apparently pointin is how you spell things. Thank you for the host, Logic Beard. Okay, so target level is going to be, I guess I'm going to say this dot target level is equal to that. Oh crap, it's static, right. Okay, that, wait, what? Oh, that kind of gets awkward. Huh. Yeah, that's fair. I guess I... Huh. I've never tried to set a static thing like that. Very tired. Today was build day at work. Oh, builds are so much fun! Especially if you haven't made a build in forever. You're like, oh, this will work exactly when I need it to. And it's like, nope, there's tons of errors. Yeah. Yeah, build day is always super stressful. Build... Yeah. Okay. So we're going to change some of this. We're going to say target level ID here. Set that. Rename this to target spawn ID. Pointin'. There we go. Rename that to point because I need to learn how to spell good. Okay. So we're going to say target level is equal to target level ID. Target spawn is equal to target spawn ID. And it's going to be target spawn point. Ta-da! And now we are going to go ahead and go to level transition async. So this is where things are going to get kind of messy. So we need to find our references to current. Am I doing anything with this? No. I'm doing that here. Is equal to none, or current level is equal to main menu. Name. Interesting. Okay. I guess that's fair. And let's go ahead and check this out. Where are we doing stuff with this in level manager? I'm sorry, text scene loader. Right about here. All right. So we want this to be changed to target level, not to string. Is there a reason that I do that before I yield for one frame? It's kind of odd, but I guess that makes sense. So we're going to do our start load. So it's target level dot to string. Current manager, find all manager, current manager, clean up level. Okay. Then we're going to load into our new level. It's been a while since I've done this, so I apologize that I'm rereading my own code. I do not know how to spell. In fact, I'm terrible at spelling. In fact, I might be the worst speller. Speller? Pretty sure that's what you would call someone who spells. On the planet. I spelled ignite wrong for like 3 months in this game. That's how bad of a speller I am. Or how bad at spelling I am. Okay, so let's go ahead. We get all of our fun loading bars. And at the end here, we're going to say all this fun stuff. All right, so at the end here, I'm going to go ahead and say current level is equal to target level. Current spawn point is equal to target spawn point. Then target level is equal to level ID.none, or nopen. It's almost like none. Target spawn point is equal to level ID. Sorry, that's not level ID, that's spawn point ID. Dot none. Okay, so let's go ahead, go up to here. We're going to need some public getters here. Set. Wow, that's kind of awkward, but sure. So we're going to say public static level ID, target ID. Sorry, not terrible. Target level, get return, target level. We're not going to worry about setting it because it's never going to be set from the outside, and this is something that only exists temporarily as we're loading a level. And we're going to come down here, we're going to say public static spawn point ID, target spawn point, get return target spawn point. Okay. All right. Next, we are going to need to reference current spawn point. I'm actually not entirely sure what we're doing with that. Wow, really? Do we not do that? That can't be right. Why not references? Nope. Well, isn't that interesting? Why on... Oh, I guess I do that there. That makes sense. It's kind of awkward, but sure, why not? Level manager... we call in... Okay. So we're going to need to do this. Let's see. Come back. Yeah, wrong thing. Let's close that script because we don't need it open. Let's see here. And yes, English is hard. It's a terrible language full of misspellings and hidden constants. Or consonants. Okay, so target spawn point, blah, blah, blah. So we set current spawn point equal to... Where did it go? There we go. But do we even use that? Oh, good, we do. Okay. Then, yeah, that should handle pretty much everything that we want. Actually, no, that won't. We're going to have to move this up a chunk, won't we? Let's see. Current manager, find object. So this is where we clean up. Yeah, we clean up there, which means that we need to go through here and assign it there. Okay, so that's a nice little chunk of code that's hideous to look at. We're going to go back to loading view, and now when we select minigame, we're going to have to reference our TextQuest scene loader to know what our current scene is, as well as what our target scene is. So let's see, select minigame. Before we do anything, I guess, with that, actually, we're going to want to say loading screen minigame is equal to null, I guess, by default. Then we're going to loop through our minigame. So we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than minigames dot count I plus plus. Then we're going to say minigame, well, if minigames of I dot from, oh crud, right, hold on, text loading minigame, right. So I guess we'll go ahead and have those fields here. So we'll go ahead and say serialize field, private, loading, level ID. Actually, you know what? That's even better. I don't need these because my flavor text already has that information, which means that I can do this. I'm going to say public level. Wow, I can't spell level. Level ID from ID. It's going to be get return flavor text dot. Crud! It doesn't have it though. Dang it. Because they're private, which means that I need to make them have public getters. So I guess we're going to go ahead and say public level ID from ID get. Yeah, we can probably put this on one line, have that be fine. Get return from public level ID. Did I do something stupid? Oh yeah, I did. Level ID get. I can't type tonight for some reason. So this is going to be 2 ID get return 2. All right, go ahead and make those same line. Okay, go back to here. Screen minigame. This is going to be from ID. We're going to do the same thing here. So public level ID, 2 ID, get return flavor text dot 2 ID. Okay, we're also going to have those line up a little bit better. Get return from. Get this stuff ironed out. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and just make a quick note so I don't forget what these are. So we're going to say level ID for the level being transitioned to level ID for, I can't type, for the level being transitioned from. Cool. All right, so that will now allow us to actually find these minigames. So I'm going to say if if minigames of I dot from ID is equal to text quest scene loader dot current level, and minigames of I dot to ID is equal to text quest scene loader dot target level. Then we're going to say, we're going to break out at the end there, and we're going to say minigame is equal to minigames of I. All right. And then that gets us our prefab. So we're going to wrap everything in if minigame does not equal null. Go ahead and wrap that stuff. Get rid of you. All right, so we're going to request the minigame, and we're going to put it under the minigame area. Okay, nice and simple. All right, so that gets us our minigame, gets it spawned in. Now we're going to have to initialize it and properly clean it up. So let's go ahead and do find all references first up. So that's done with fade in coroutine. And oh boy. Yeah. All right. Where's cleanup minigame called from? It's on close. Really, it's on close, huh? That's fine, I guess. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. All right, let's go back to our select real quick. So we have select minigame. We're going to go ahead and initialize this. So we're going to say current minigame dot initialize, and I guess we'll go ahead and say current minigame dot start minigame while we're here. Except, actually, hold on, find all references. I think what we're going to want to do is do select minigame on open. So let's go ahead and copy that. Find all references to this. So where are you done? And where are you done? Find all references. I'm guessing on open. You're on start load. Okay. And about start load. Find all references. The scene loader is doing that. Okay. Dear, oh dear. I suppose then on... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Let's go see what this is doing. If show load, start load. And go to definition, fade in. Okay, there it is. We call open. And all of that is correct. Okay. So we are going to want, I think, to do this on open. So I'm going to want to call right here, select minigame. I think. No, I'm not really liking that, so I'm going to go ahead and do it here. So we'll do fade in, which will call our coroutine for fade in coroutine. At the end of that coroutine, we're going to say current minigame dot start minigame. So it'll be initialized by the time when we first start fading in, and then it will actually start when we want to or when we finish doing the actual fade to black. So that means I need to go up here. We're going to get rid of you. Okay. And that should more or less get us working as far as getting it instantiated goes. So let's go ahead and hook the system up to our actual loading screen, and then we will try transitioning from the plains to the woods. So that should get our mini game started, and it should actually get it to function, but it will probably mess up when the loading is done. Okay. So it's done compiling. So now we can get rid of that. Output label and input are not necessary anymore. And instead we will just have a single rect transform that goes up to 0.9, and that's pretty much it. That's our content area, so I'm going to go ahead and call this minigame area. And from that, we can just go ahead and assign that. We are going to have one minigame, and we can't do anything with this yet, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. We're going to save, and now I get the fun part of doing this. We're going to move our minigame reference up to here. The root is going to be at 0.9, so that's going to move a bunch of stuff down, as you can see, which is not ideal. So we're going to turn this up, and we're going to have to get up to that green line there. That's interesting. Why is that even visible through that? It seems like that shouldn't be the case, but sure, why not? So that means that all of our backgrounds basically need to change. So instead of 0.6, I'm guessing 0.7. And, oh, that was, no wonder that went way up there, 0.7. 0.7, huh? Oh, come on. 0.7. There. Go ahead and zoom in on this. Too much. 0.65. That's much closer. Stop doing that. It's like it's not registering my freaking point, or my decimal point. So it's the one on the bottom now. 675. Ooh, that's really close. Dang it. Seriously? What about 6.7? Almost. Can I do 6? 6.6? You've got to be kidding me! 0.665. Okay, so things are pretty much where they were before. So I need to go to 0.665 instead of 0.6. Let's go ahead and turn that on. We will, I guess, change everything to 0.665. Obstacle area, 0.665. Anything crazy going on there? Everything else should be the same. I just need to change all the 0.6s to 0.665s. Pretty sure we're not doing anything crazy there. Okay, player area, 0.665. Doing good, doing good. Might as well assign the player end area because we're not doing anything with that yet. We'll need it. Flavor text. Flavor text I think can actually go up to 0.9. So 0.9 to 1. Because now that's actually where the loading bar is going to be. It's off screen, essentially. Flavor text label, that's all good. We do need it to be, I'm guessing, like 25 and 25 from the right. And I also want it to be left justified. That'll be interesting to see how that works. Let's go ahead and save that. Okay. Now, oh boy. we are going to want to have a canvas group. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the root object. So let's see, we want layout, I believe, canvas group, yep. Interactable, blocks raycast, all that stuff's fine. Let's go ahead and assign that real quick, and that should be good. For now, I'm going to leave it at alpha 1, although we might end up changing that. All right, time for the actual prefab making, I guess. Let's go ahead and make that a prefab. I should probably rename that to something better. Say minigame dash plains to woods. Okay. Let's see. What did you use to learn how the 2017.3 assembly definition files works? Tips. There's not really too much to them. They're basically JSON files. So actually, if I show you this, show in Explorer, if we open this up, it is just a JSON blob. Yes, I know. So name is, by default, when you create an assembly, you give it a name, and that name is what this is going to reference by default. And that's just the name that your assembly gets built into. So sleepyowl.textQuest means that I have an assembly called sleepyowl.textQuest. But you can rename that later. The actual name of the asset is irrelevant after you create it for the first time. It's just used for the name initially. References are the assembly definition files or assemblies that it has to reference in order for it to compile. So if you have third-party assets that your code relies on, you can see that I have stuff like TextMesh Pro in here, then you have to make sure that you reference that, otherwise it won't compile, and you'll get errors. Include platforms and exclude platforms are kind of like specific compilation checks. So if you include, you can never have both of these populated. Only one can be populated at a time. Include platforms means that it will only compile on those platforms specifically, and exclude platforms means that it won't compile on those platforms specifically. But the actual stuff that I looked at to get that done is, I think there's a blog post. Maybe I'm like 90% sure that there is a blog post about that. I would recommend checking that out, and then I would also take a look at the documentation on that, because it walks you through the basics of how to do it. And once you understand that, you can actually write your own tools, like I did, to automatically detect and generate assembly definition files for editor stuff. So I can actually do, let's see, SOS editor, create editor assembly definitions. And, oh, that's interesting. I was going to say that shouldn't have worked, but it looks like I have an editor folder underneath my art, which I guess makes sense, but I don't need to do that. And I can create assembly definition files from just this menu. But, yeah, if you start, I would recommend just sort of starting to mess with them, and then if you run into issues, feel free to post or ping me, and I'll try to help out more with that. Oh yeah, I can actually go ahead and do that right now. Aha, that's what Discord is good for. Let's see. I'll put that in Dev Talk. So that's in the Discord. Oh, which is I guess another good point for me to I guess go ahead and create an invite real quick. So if people are curious, feel free to stop by the TextQuest Discord to see that link that I posted. All right, let's go ahead and minimize this. Get back to this. So we have our prefab set up, and now we need to test it spawning in. So let's go back here to loading. We're going to drag in minigame, plains to woods. All of this should be correct. Okay, so let's try this. I'm gonna hit apply. Close this. So we're gonna jump over to the plains level and try loading. This is gonna go horrendously. I just know it. So a quick tip for the assembly definition files. One of the things that Unity says is if you're going to use assembly files or assembly definition files, it's an all or nothing process. Don't do like half of your stuff in assembly definition files and half of it in the base, like regular old compiler, because that really doesn't help anything. And it kind of sucks because of that, because a lot of third-party assets aren't using assembly definition files yet, so you have to make them yourself. And a quick tip: when you make an assembly definition file, it will grab all of the files up to that assembly definition file that are below it, unless there's another assembly definition file below it, in which case it's kind of like a scripts get compiled into whatever assembly definition file is closest to them directly above them. And the big trick that you need to be aware of is that it will pull in editor files if you're not careful. So if you're doing the assembly definition file or assembly definition path, you have to have an assembly definition file for your editor folders and for your non-editor scripts. So it's kind of weird. And it's really annoying because when you first do it, the assembly definition file doesn't tell you that it's pulling in editor files. You won't really notice that until you try to make a build and it says, this assembly is trying to reference editor scripts. You can't do that. And you're like, wait, what? So yeah, the editor folder workflow that we've been accustomed to for like 5 years now is basically the old way of handling things. And that's not even my words. That's like words straight out of one of Unity's developers. He said like, that's the old way of doing things. So just be aware of that. That was something that I was not prepared for and I didn't realize was going to be a thing. All right, so we should now be able to transition from the plains to the woods, and we should be able to start our loading screen minigame. Hopefully. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna like just not work. But yeah, I mean, if you have any questions about that stuff, feel free to ping me, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Because they're one of those weird things about Unity that's not crazy complex. It's just weird. Oh crap! I was gonna say I don't have light. Let's see. But now I do. Let's see, hold and light lamp. Yep, that's about right. All right, so close, so close. Let me go ahead and pull up the UI. Let's see, loading container. Interesting, because that goes above everything, which makes sense. So we're gonna. Are you not zeroed out? Or no, you are, but maybe you're not. Root minigame area. Huh. Okay. So we want to do that. Oh God, no! Oh no! Terrible things have happened. What's going on? That's terrible. Did it like break all of my rec transforms below it? No. Surely not. Well, the horizon and stuff seems fine. Oh, but what the hell? My obstacle area is totally borked. Oh, crap. It's because that stuff got initialized. Right, okay. Okay, I know what happened there. It's... Jeez, I hate it when it does that. Okay, so we got to do something real quick. Fade in. Let's see, start coroutine, fade in coroutine. Select minigame. Here we are. So, jeez, are you really gonna make me do that? No, surely I can just do this. Current minigame dot. I don't have a good way of doing this, so I'm just gonna say dot get rec transform. Dot size delta is equal to vector 2.0. Let's just try that, see if that fixes it. It's because... Oh wait, actually, you know what? I bet I can just do this, can't I? Transform parent. Huh, really? Alright, fair enough. So, yeah, I do need to do that then. So I need it to stretch to fill its entire space, which it wasn't doing before. That should hopefully force it to update. But yeah, and assembly definition files actually do work really well. Once you, oh geez, hold on. I'm just gonna move my spawn point over there. Spawn point, player, test spawn. Just move this. F, rotate 0 degrees, because this level is all kinds of warped with its rotation. Hit that, should be good. I'm also just going to go ahead and pull my lamp in here. Oh right, it's lantern. Just going to go ahead and pull that in here, so I don't have to keep no-clipping into my shed there. Okay, move this over to here, and there we go, should be good. Let's go ahead and save that, and load. Are you going to work with me, Unity? Take, hold, and light lamp. Yay! Yeah! We got a null reference, but yeah! It at least runs, and that's what I wanted to see. Also, the left alignment, or left justification is pretty decent there. Oh, that's funny. The sound effect is pretty bad. Alright, so we got a null reference exception, which is... what? Oh, I know what it was. Yep, it was that. It's because I forgot to add that scene to my build. So let me go ahead and go to File, Build Settings. Let's see. Huh? Oh, right. Hold on. Let's see. Woods. Level names. There we go. Come up here, and yeah, there we go. Woods. I needed to reassign that because I renamed it. Okay, that should work now. Do you bake the lighting in the scene? Have you played with the progressive baker thing? I do bake the lighting in the scene. In fact, right now I'm in the middle of trying to figure out a good way to bake the lighting in the plains area. In fact, I really need to learn how to bake lighting in a way that's somewhat dynamic. Because hold and light lamp. I haven't really messed with the progressive light mapper much. Seriously? What do you mean it hasn't been loaded? You lie. You lie. I'm looking at it right there. You lie. You sit on a throne of lies. Okay. Scene woods couldn't be loaded because it's not been added. I mean, it's right there. It's right there. What do you mean it hasn't been loaded? It's right there. Huh. I'm legitimately not sure what to do here. This is... I don't... What do you... Okay, maybe we just need to do that one more time. Maybe I grabbed the wrong one. No, it's definitely there. Okay. This is very strange. need to put a score for the game and put a secret achievement for it on Steam. I would say that would be fine, except actually, I guess that wouldn't be a bad idea. I was going to say that would mean that I would need to put the log or the mini games somewhere where you could manually play them forever, because it's entirely possible that the load time for these mini games will be terribly tiny. Some of these levels I'm sure can load in like 10 seconds. Well, not 10 seconds, like a tenth of a second if you have a fast enough computer. So that's... Huh. I don't know why it wouldn't think that or why it would think that that is not included in the build. I am going to mute audio though, because I don't want to keep getting flagged by Twitch for having music. Because for some reason, Twitch seems to think that these bird chirps are music. Go ahead and take, hold, and light lamp. So I have like, I think 4 dev streams ago, my video got muted because of those bird chirps. It's very annoying. That's so dumb. We're still getting... I don't understand. How do you not think that it's loaded? Like, look, it's right there. I mean, you can toggle it on or off if you want, but it's right there. And I don't have anything else in the build settings called woods. Is that not an actual scene? Is that why you're complaining? Let's see. Let's see. Or remember the customs and hidden skins we were talking about. Maybe you get a high enough score in the game. We can put log as your color and play the game as log. That would be pretty funny. I don't know. I want the loading screen mini games to basically be something to keep you occupied. I don't know if I'm going to put too much or tie too much to them. Really, they're more meant to be things that you can enjoy, rather than things that should try to keep you. Then again, it's hard to say. It's like right there. Scenes, overworld, woods, right there. What do you mean you can't be loaded? You lie. I don't... Well, I don't know what to do about this. I've not run into this before. Okay. Maybe my trigger is wrong? Transitions, woods. Nope, that's right. Okay. Oh, why do you keep transitioning weirdly? I guess actually I'm also going to go ahead and turn off light dark zones and hit play. Let's see what happens here. I'm kind of mad that it keeps saying that I don't have something loaded, even though I clearly do have something in my build settings to do that. I mean, what? Does it want me to make a freaking build to prove it? Are you kidding me? Now it works? Why? That's so weird. Whatever. Okay, so we get our loading screen going up at the top there. Writing textures. Oh yeah, audio is... That's interesting. It's all coming from the left. Oh, this is also curious. Right, so it did spawn, and it looks like we're in the scene. I'm actually kind of curious to know if we can move around right now. I'm going to turn off maximize on play, just out of curiosity. Good, I can't. Okay, so cool. So it is actually loading in. It's loading properly, and we can move around while this is going on. I'm not crazy about the fact that our audio seems to be kind of weird, but it does seem to, at the very least, function. So now we need to clean it up once it's done loading, and we need to trigger a end animation. So let's go back here. Actually, I guess we're going to go to level manager. Well, no, hold on. We're going to have one more coroutine here. It's going to be private enumerator not position player, but and I don't really have a good one for this. I guess we'll say end. We'll say move player to end. That is a terrible name, but I can't think of a better thing for it. So we are going to want to, let's say, position player, blah, 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 blah. Player area width, player area, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, I got to go back to my test menu real quick. We got to take a look at this minigame reference and player area. Yep, player is parented to player movement area, which is not great. That's not actually what we want. It means that we need to change how this is done just slightly. So that's going to be fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull our minigame back out to here. We're gonna just turn off minigame reference because we don't really need it anymore. But I'll keep it just in case. So we're going to change this to 0.35 and 0.65, 0.35 and 0.65. Okay, then we're going to change this to 0 and 1. Okay. Are you kidding me? What the heck? Seriously? What is up with our anchors here? Like, all of our offsets got messed up for some reason. Backgrounds? Yeah, what the heck? I'm super paranoid about it. 0, this is why you anchor everything. At the very least, I can reset all of these. But seriously, what is going on here? That is not okay. And why do I have 2 of these things? Why do I have... What is going on? Is it because my camera isn't clearing? No, that wouldn't make sense. Huh. I don't... What the heck? What is going on? It is totally... It's like it's not clearing, basically. That makes no sense. Oh. Oh. I guess it was that. Okay. Weird. But sure, why not? Fair enough. Let's get rid of you. Okay. So... I guess logically I actually should put you here, shouldn't I? There we go. Now everything should be where it is. We need to move our hero to be in the player area, like that. The actual position should not have changed, which is fine. And we should still be in a good spot. So let's go ahead and... actually, before we do that, I'm just going to revert that. Are you kidding me? Obstacle area. Seriously? What is even up with this? Fine, whatever. 0 and 0. Flavor text 0 and 0. And of course our background, but just our path because our horizon is still correct for some weird reason. Alright, so now we're going to move that hero out to here. Oh, I lied. I need to redo this, don't I? So 0.35, 0.65. So the reason I'm doing this is because I need my normalized values to be accurate more or less for the hero, and I can't have the hero be below the movement area because I need him to be able to alert between the movement area and the end area at the end of the minigame. Let's go ahead and continue that. Okay, so now we should be correct here. 0 you out again, and I should be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my root, hit apply, And let's go ahead and save this. All right. So now, oh, maybe that error was because, I don't know, it's fine. So we need to get basically this. So we're going to say, first up, we're going to have a starting vector 2, which is going to be our start position. Start pose is equal to pretty much that. Okay. Then we're going to say vector 2 end pose is equal to pretty much that again, but instead of player area width, we want to change that, don't we? Yep. Let's see. So we're going to add private float player end width is equal to 0f. So player area width getting set there. We're going to want to set player end width is equal to hero end position dot rect dot width times 0.5f. Okay. So we're going to need to basically do the same thing that we're doing for the trees, where we lerp from normalized position to normalized position with offset. Except we don't do the offset because this is in the center. Let's see, obstacle. Okay. So we're going to change this to, instead of negative player area width, we're going to say negative player end width. Player end width. Inverse lerp. Path lanes -1. All that stuff is fine. All right. So now we're going to want to just do a for loop, or not a for loop, a while loop. I'm going to say float t is equal to 0f. While t is less than 1f, we're going to say t plus equals time dot delta time times, honestly, I think I'm going to say, oh, no, we'll say divided by, say 2f, so it'll take 2 seconds roughly. Yield, return, null. All right. Now we need to calculate our positioning. So, I guess we're going to want to grab our trees. Let's see, woods tree, go to definition. Pretty much going to, actually, you know what? I guess we can do obstacle, can't we? Because that'll be even easier. Position obstacle. Let's see. So we want this. Yes. Kind of, but not quite. Let's see. Path to woods, move player. Alright. So it's going to be more or less this. Vector 2 dot new pose is equal to vector 2 dot 0. Alright. Crap, I need to store the player area's height too, don't I? Okay. So let's go ahead and say private float player area height is equal to 0f. We're going to come up here. Hero in position. I believe we have hero. Is hero area what we're doing? That's not good enough. Crud. Yeah, that's not great. We gotta rename some of this. We're going to rename you to hero move area. Then we actually will have a serialized field, private rect transform hero area. Come down here. Hero area width. Say player area height is equal to hero area dot rect dot height. I think that's, we only want the height, right? We don't want to multiply it by 0.5, do we? I don't know. We probably want it to, no, we want it to be times 0.5 actually. Times 0.5f, because we're going to lerp from negative height to positive height to get the actual value because it's anchored in the center. Alright, New post.y, area height. So this is going to be player area height times area height based on t is what we want for the y position. Then this is where it gets fun. So we're going to say player move. Right, player area width. Width based on t again. Based on t, and this is going to be player end width. Okay, go ahead and do that. Oh, crap. Nope. Copy, paste. Okay. I think this will do what I want. I'm 90% sure that it will. Go ahead and grab this. And we are going to want to say anchor position is equal to new pose. Okay. And finally, when we get to the end here, we are going to want to say hero.local scale is equal to new vector 3. I guess, yeah, I guess we'll do this. So I'm going to say vector 3 start scale is equal to new vector 3 1f 1f 1f. Okay, then vector 3 dot end. End scale is equal to new vector 3 0f 0f 0f. I guess. I guess I could have just done vector 3.1 and vector 3.2, but that's fine. So we're going to want to scale this between, I'm going to do it quick and dirty, vector 3.lerp between start scale and end scale based on t. Okay. I think that will properly position our player. Second, in update, okay, is active gets set to false. That's good. So at end minigame, we're going to say start coroutine, position. Crap, what did I call it? End player. Yarg. Move player to end. Terrible name. Move player to end. Okay. I think that is going to do everything that I want. I think. So that should allow us to basically have things get cleaned up. And it should work the way we would expect. Once this compiles, we'll know. Okay, go ahead and put that in there. Grab the hero area for that. We should be able to just hit apply. Okay. Now the last thing we need to do is on our loading screen, or I'm sorry, loading view, when we are told to finish load, is that right? Let's see, set load amount, blah, 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 show load, set load amount 1F. Let's see, so get finish load. There we go. Go to definition. So here we're going to want to say current minigame dot end minigame. And I guess we'll do a if current minigame does not equal null. Alright. I think that is all we need to do to get it to, at the very least, properly start and end when we would expect. I think, at the very least. It won't properly clean itself up, but it should automatically fade out, I want to say. At least I hope it does. Let's give that a shot. All right. What the heck? Seriously? You're gonna be like that? What's wrong with you? What? Why didn't you turn on? Wow, all kinds of wrong just happened there. Um, okay. Um, yeah, yeah. Not, not exactly the best. Huh. That is super weird. Let's try that again. Maybe that was a weird fluke and a bug. Because apparently that has totally been a thing, what with Unity refusing to update or load in a build scene despite the fact that the scene was totally in there and should have worked. Oh, how wonderful. It's just not doing it. I love it. Seriously? Like it obviously requests it. But like you just don't open it? What the heck? I I I I, I don't understand. Why don't you work here? Okay. So we select minigame, go to definition. At the very end there, we initialize that. Okay. And once we're done with that, we should automatically play it. But maybe I don't have that being called. Yeah, fade in coroutine right there. Let's go ahead and I guess debug this. Debug.log. Start. Go to definition. Is active. Oh, it's because of the root. Duh. I don't actually have a root there. That was force of habit there. My bad. Let's just turn you on. There we go. That was entirely my fault. Probably because it's been a 3-hour dev stream, which always seems to grate on me. At least not make me think very well. It didn't make me thunk very well. That's what I was about to say. I was like, yep, nope, that's apparently correct. It does not make me thunk very well. Okay, let's try this again. There we are. Oh, frickin' really? Come on. Why? Why you gotta be like that, man? Alright, that is clearly not correct, so I am going to do some stuff here. Let's see, loading screen minigame. We want Plains to Woods minigame. Decision player area width, which gets set to be the player hero move area .rect.width times 5. I mean, shouldn't be wrong. I guess I'm also going to want to do area width, end width, inverse lerp, blah blah blah. All that stuff's true. Player width, height, player height, player area. Ah, no, never mind. That's what the heck is going on here then. Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna start that again. and then I'm going to pause once it's initialized because I'm really curious as to why my area of movement has been drastically reduced like that. I'm kind of concerned that the rect transforms are getting borked, actually. Like, they're not properly getting set. I am also going to set this alpha to 0 by default, and that should fix my little fade in there. I do not know. That is kind of annoying. Alright, so let's go ahead, run through here. Seriously? Go ahead and pause. UI, loading container. Go ahead and do all this fun stuff. Root, minigame area. Don't tell me that I forgot to set those to 0 and 1. 10 to 1 says I did. Ah, there it is. That's why, because I forgot to friggin' do that. Hey, at least I can just manually do that here. So player movement area, 0, not 10, 0, and 1. I love it when I forget to do basic stuff like that. So that should fix that little problem. And then we should be able to get this to properly clean up that cutscene, I think. Go ahead. So we get our fade out, we get our fade in, we can move. We really need to get the audio to fade out though, because this is super jarring. That was what I was talking about, the inevitable cutoff. Not entirely sure that that's quite correct, but it's almost right. Okay, so I guess once this is done, we're going to go to loading view. Let's get rid of some of these things. Fade out coroutine, and we don't actually seem to call that, so let's find all references here. Start coroutine, fade out coroutine. Does fade out get called anywhere? It does not. Okay, so we actually want to change. Let's see, fade in, close, clean up minigame, start load, finish load. I guess we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to say fade out. Fade out. There we go. We'll give it a duration of 2. Okay. That should automatically fade it out, and I wonder if we should actually add a callback to the end minigame. That would make sense. I'm going to go to definition here. We're going to add a system.action callback is equal to null. We will go ahead, come up here and say protected system.action close, or well, clean up call, end callback is equal to null by default. So we'll go ahead and say end callback is equal to callback here. And basically the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want the fade out to happen at the same time as the fade out of the minigame is happening. I would prefer that the minigame fades out, then the main menu itself fades out. Let's go back here. We're going to pass in delegate fade out, paste on duration. Okay, so let's comment you out. And then back here in loading screen minigame, and fade coroutine, we'll basically just do this, I guess. We'll say end callback, and I guess we'll also say if end callback does not equal null, then do that. Okay. Once this works, I think we're going to call it a night, because we more or less have it integrated. It's not screwed on quite right, but it's Oh, crap. Right. That makes sense. Hold on. Got to do this. Here, and where's the squiggle? There's the squiggle. Pass in callback. Do that. Alright. Should take care of that. But yeah, we have it actually integrated into the loading screen now. And it seems to be fairly correct. Like, it's behaving pretty much as I would expect. So yeah, I think the last steps really to fully integrate this will be proper cleanup once the fade out has finished, and recycling the minigame prefab. That's pretty much all I need to do. Let's go ahead and maximize on play. Okay. Right, we still need to do audio fade out too, and audio in general, because you can hear, like, it's very soft, and that's because there is the player still exists, and oh, I guess we need to fix that. But okay, so we are now in the woods, and that transition is successful. So still got a lot to really iron out with the player positioning. I think that's not quite working as I would expect, but that's fair. I am actually kind of curious. I'm gonna stop playing, which of course means we're gonna have to re-import all of this. So we do need to fix the player's end lerp, but I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that on Thursday, or no, probably tomorrow, because I have a couple of things that I need to take care of tonight. So, whew. Okay, I think that is a good place to stop for the night. Got everything mostly integrated now, for the most part. So it'll be all about finishing up that integration on Thursday, and we will decide whether or not we want to move on to another ASCII art minigame, or if we want to move on to something else then. So, whew, 3-hour Devstream, everyone. We managed to make it. Alright, so as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.